What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and it's been a minute since we've done a beef video. If you don't know what that is, that's when I recount a story or story arc in which two characters beef, and it's been a really funny thing I've done on my channel. I haven't had the chance to do one in a while, but while researching the Blob, I discovered one of the funniest beefs I've read in comics, so we're going to review it today. Smash the like button if you love videos like this and love comic books in general. Let's get it to 300 plus likes, and the beef videos will return immediately after we hit the like goal. So make your voice heard and let me know in the comment section what you think of this beef that you're about to hear, as well as what do you want to see down the road in the beef series or in stories I review, which can be comics or manga. Now, getting into this is Freedom Force versus Avengers, the beef. Now, this is coming from Avengers issue 312. In case you want to go read it for yourself, I'll also have it in my Discord if you want to check it out. This story is between a group called Freedom Force, who most might not be familiar with. Essentially, there was the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which was sometimes led by Magneto or Mystique. Well, they went for a rebrand, right? They're like, okay, it's bad for business being bad guys. Everyone knows we're doing hood rat shit. Let's rebrand. They basically become a Suicide Squad type entity for corrupt Washington and Marvel. And they rebrand to the Freedom Force, where in the name of Uncle Sam, they go around making arrests. Okay, so they're legit in a way, but they're also fucking terrible people. This roster includes the likes of Avalanche, who can basically start seismic forces wherever he wants. There's also Pyro, who can manipulate any fire that comes about. There's my boy the GOAT, Blob, Fred P. Dukes, who can alter his molecular structure. It's a decent roster. Are they winning any major fights? Fuck no. But do they have swag and do they pull up on everyone? Absolutely. So this story starts off with us as the reader seeing that the United States is suffering amped hood rat shit. Like, everywhere is massively up in crime. They're not quite sure what's going on. It could be just a natural spike, like the world's just getting worse, or it could be something mystic in nature or something done by villains. Regardless, the Avengers set out to kind of figure out why this shit's going on. This includes a roster, one of the worst rosters you'll ever see. I ain't even gonna hold you. There's like Wasp, Hank Pym, Vision, Sam Wilson. Like, I'm sorry, no one's scared of a roster like this. This roster's low-key ass. We then see this cabal of villains are hanging out, and they're making moves behind the scene. This includes some of the heaviest hitters in Marvel when it comes to villains. There's the likes of Kingpin, Red Skull, Doctor Doom. If you've watched my channel, you know Doctor Doom is one of the GOATs, as well as Kingpin. So it's pretty deep. And they're talking about how they're manipulating everything behind the scene. They're causing all of this, and they're going to bring the Avengers down because the Avengers roster absolutely sucks. And if there's any point in time to cook them, it'd probably be now. We then see a helicopter touch down in Central Park. And civilians are like, man, what the fuck? But they don't panic. Why? Because they're Marvel humans. If you know, you know. Go watch all my Marvel human videos on my channel. They're a ridiculous force of people, okay? They don't really give a fuck. They low-key don't need heroes. Like, they're a wild bunch. So they're just like, what the hell? There can't be like helicopters in the middle of Central Park. And out steps the Freedom Force. As the Freedom Force, couple of the members are like, yo, low-key, like, no one's really scared of us. And we see Blob go, yo, y'all want me to fuck them up real quick? Like, let them know we have the sauce? And they say, no, we agreed not to be too terrible, especially because we're kind of tiptoeing on legal grounds with Mystique out the picture. Let's just make these arrests, okay? Let's see if we could pull up on the Avengers. Now, their arrival actually worries the Avengers. Like, we see through the lens of the Avengers as they're watching through their monitors. So, like, damn, this is low-key not the best situation going on. Like, yeah, sure, we're supposed to be Avengers, but we're not exactly saucy, you know? It's a problem. They're worried, like Scarlet Witches and Hank Pym and all that. They're worried, and this causes Vision to be like, okay, I'm going to go investigate what's going on. I'm going to find out what's really going on. Because, again, he's a cyborg. Like, he's not really one of emotion. He's going to try to be, you know, technical about everything he does. He's like, I'll just go figure this out. And they're like, no, Vision, don't do that. But he does it anyway and pulls up on them. Now, when Vision arrives, as you may have noticed on screen, he looks different than his usual self, right? Like, usually he's dark red, got different colors, green, all that. He's pure white. And we figure out why real quick if you're reading this in an isolated sense. Apparently, Vision got mauled, right? And when he got mauled, he got turned inside out. And Blob's like, dude, you look like ass right now. Clearly, you got dragged. Guys, I don't know if y'all heard that story, but Vision got his ass beat. Blob's talking crazy, right? And Vision's not picking up on Blob being a hater. And he goes, I don't speak thug. Like, I don't speak whatever you're speaking. Vision really says this shit. He's like, can you please speak in a normal manner? And Blob, of course, he's offended. He's like, bro, don't get uppity on me, you fucking robot. Like, I'll knock your shit off. And he rocks. I mean, absolutely rocks Vision, sending him flying and officially starting the beef. Smash the like button if you haven't already. It's about to get real. So the Avengers are nervous as fuck, right? Because they see their boy Vision, who at that point, unless like Scarlet Witch is having a bitch meltdown, he's pretty much the big dog on their team. He's getting rocked by Blob. So they're like, okay, what do we know about Freedom Force? This is a crazy fade we're running. Like, we need to go in there and help our boy Vision. And so they do the scouting report. They really only know about Blob for the most part, because Blob is pretty famous for what he's done. I mean, dude's been hanging out with Magneto for a minute now. So they kind of know about him, but besides that, they just got to run up and get active and figure it out as they go. And meanwhile, at this point, I'm going to be real with you guys. Vision's just getting his ass beat. Like, he ran up on Blob and made a mistake because Blob knows what Vision likes to spam. He's like, yo, you like that molecule control shit. Well, I'm the go to that. So go ahead and get folded, like, since you want to run up. So he's beating his ass, and then the Avengers show up. We find out immediately, and I need y'all to let me know in the comment section down below. Are the Avengers really y'all's heroes? Are these your kings? Because when they see Blob, they start making fat-phobic comments. I mean, size shaming in the middle of battle? Really? Why would you do that? Have some class, Avengers. But anyways, they run into the mix and they start getting active, right? However, Avalanche, who I told y'all has seismic powers, he's not going for that shit. He's like, yo, y'all are trying to blindside us. Fuck y'all. Hits them with a crossover. And that's when we see my boy Pyro get active as well. Now, I'll say this about Pyro, right? It's a legit brawl breaking out. Pyro would be a lot more dangerous if he naturally produced fire. However, he doesn't. He manipulates it, which means he's kind of got to carry the spark on him, but he can't actually produce the spark. In my opinion, he'd be a lot more raw. He'd be like a hood rat Johnny Storm. But yeah, that's something he can't do, and keep in mind in the beef. We see the Avengers at first, they're kind of getting their shit rocked because they don't know what they're dealing with. But then the Avengers start to do a little better as they figure out the powers of the Freedom Force and how they work. They also clearly have the numbers advantage. However, y'all got to understand, the Freedom Force is the definition of trenches, okay? They're not going down without a fight. They're not going out like bitches. Vision seeing his boys here trying to get active with the Freedom Force, he's like, oh shit, let me be a big boy and rematch Blob. However, Blob, my boy Fred Dukes, he's not going for that shit. He says, yo, Vision, I know you like to alter molecules, like that's the thing you really do, but you need to understand the big picture, right? At the end of the day, I've been doing that shit since you were spare parts, pussy, and rocks the hell out of him. Absolutely rocks Vision's shit. Scarlet Witch at this point, seeing her husband get mauled by Freedom Force, particularly Blob, she's like, man, real shit, I don't even know if we're going to be able to clutch this one up. Like, Freedom Force really might arrest us today. That's when we see Pyro get jumped. That's right, they gotta get to jumping the boys, right? So Pyro gets jumped in the form of Hank Pym and Wasp. He's doing just fine against Hank Pym, who's using tech to battle him. But Wasp comes in, shrinks and starts fucking with Pyro's flame producers. Like I told you guys, Pyro can't actually make his own flames. So in fucking with his flame supply, you can weaken him significantly. Weak shit to jump him, but I get it. Like you're fighting a goated team in Freedom Force. I'm a Freedom Force fan, and I'm not afraid of it. All 8 Freedom Force fans, stand the fuck up, okay? Rep your shit. We then switch over to Blob, who again is manhandling Vision. I don't know how many times Vision has to get his ass beat in a fight before he stops, okay? But Blob is searching for the upper limit. So Blob is absolutely scrapping with Vision, beating his ass, and Hank Pym comes in and gets the drop on him. He uses Pym particles, which of course shrinks you on a molecular level. They then shrink the goat, the man Blob, to get him out of the fight. And because he's so thick, my boy is so thick with it, pause, they start shrinking him down to the core of the earth. Like he's literally falling through the entirety of the earth because he's become so dense due to the Pym particles shrinking him. That's when we see how personal this beef has gotten. Vision was tired of getting his stupid ass dragged, right? As he says, he doesn't care about the Blob potentially dying. Like, hey, if he shrinks to the core of the earth, burns alive, so be it. Fuck that guy. We do later say that he's technically calculating the outcome, and he sees that if he goes to help Blob, which in his opinion, Blob's pretty much indestructible anyway, like that shit wouldn't kill him. Big ups to Blob. He's like, man, I gotta help my wife out because she's not as tough as Blob. Blob is tough as fuck. So they go to jump Avalanche, and Avalanche is like, yo, Vision, I've seen how weak your ass is. You were getting thrown around by Blob. You're not that guy. Let me go ahead and fuck you up with my seismic powers. Starts rattling Vision and literally almost kills Vision. Like, Vision is out. And he's like, oh shit, critical damage. And Scarlet Witch loses her mind. Her boy got dropped. He's a fraud. And quite frankly, she's witnessed him get fraud checked like 20 times in this fight alone, okay? So at this point, she's losing her mind. She's like, okay, you guys have beat her ass one too many times. You asked me the extent of my powers. You were talking shit about the extent of my powers. Let me show you what I'm capable of. And of course, she starts spazzing on Avalanche. This is when we switch over to the perspective of the villains who have kind of arranged this fight, right? We see, hey, get in the comments and cancel Red Skull, okay? He starts hating on the Freedom Force and he's like, how are they losing to a mongrel? And he's referring to Falcon, Sam Wilson. Red Skull, you can't say that, you stupid Nazi. Oh my God. But anyways, he drops that racist line and everyone's like, okay, dude, I know we let you hang out with us, but chill with the racism. And yeah, make sure to cancel his hoe ass. We then see the villains actually say Freedom Force is just too hood to beat the Avengers. Like, if they weren't so gangster about this shit and tried to 1v1 everyone, just throw the ones, they would beat the Avengers. However, they just want to get buckets, get money, and ball. And that's not how you beat the Avengers. They all try to cook solo dolo and forget that the Avengers are just going to jump their asses. So, kind of L for Freedom Force. If they teamed up, they'd really be raw. We then see the Freedom Force is confident the New York Police Department could take the Avengers down as they go, hey, we're fucking cops. The Avengers are wildin'. I'm gonna need y'all to arrest them, NYPD. Again, shout out to the video I'm working on with GB. We're doing the Marvel NYPD versus Gotham City Police Department. It's probably gonna be one of the funniest versus battles ever, as me and him are just gonna bring all the wild shit we find for them. But they don't get involved because the biggest snitch in America, Sam fucking Rogers, right? Captain America drops in. It's not Sam, it's Steve. I know I fucked up. That's why I paused. Steve Rogers, my bad. Captain America drops down. He's like, oh, I just came from DC, guys. And it turns out Freedom Force is technically not supposed to be here. They're on some bullshit. Cops, don't listen to them. Freedom Force, seeing this, they're like, oh shit, there's narcs involved. They're fucking snitching on our bitch asses. They exercise their right to get the fuck out of Dodge as they did. They also player hate on Blob for losing. They're like, hey man, he got shrunk. He got done like that when he could have clutched up on the Vision for an all-time W. Nah, fuck him. If he dies, he dies. We're leaving without him, which is crazy because Blob clearly carries the group. But hey, Freedom Force, they're hood as fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna argue with them. They have their opinions. We then see the Avengers at the end admitted they lost and have to radio in help from DC to handle the situation, as they don't really know how to deal with the Freedom Force. They're like, man, this shit's wild. They low-key could have fucked us up if they played their cards right. We pretty much lost here. We couldn't bring them down. They got out of here. Like, that's an L for us. So, in the end, when we're talking about this beef, in my opinion, Freedom Force 1. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This was one of the funniest random comics I've stumbled upon. I had a lot of fun reading it and covering it. And let me know what you guys want to see me cover in later episodes of both the beef and my story reviews. I think I'm going to do JoJo's Part 2 in a story review and just do it by episodes and then make one final movie, because Joseph Joestar is the GOAT. It's as simple as that. Let me know if y'all are interested in seeing that. But anyways, it's been your boy Dr. Goon, and I will see y'all later. Peace.